This is BloodNDeception, bringing you another review. Now, you know how everybody's been saying, the new Wizard of Oz is, Oz the Great and the Powerful is, one of those movies that, bring you back to your childhood. Yeah, I'm gonna explain it like this. This movie, it had a lot wrong with it. Don't get me wrong, every movie has its flaw, but this movie, I don't know where to begin. Now, everybody knows, The Great and the Powerful, from the original Wizard of Oz. He brought you, the idea that Dorothy should, Dorothy was supposed to go and, take the broomstick from the Wicked Witch. Everybody knows that, which led to the witch being killed. But this movie goes back and, pretty much tells you the story of how the wizard got there and why why apparently he could grant wishes, and, that was the thing that really got me. But I'm gonna start off with the story. Like I said, Oz, well, everybody knows him as being the guy who's just like, he's only human, he can only do so much. Now, the first 15 minutes was what really got me. Okay, it kind of had a hook and sinker, but at the same time, you knew it wasn't gonna last. Oz was, a magician. He had, you know how a magician never reveals its secrets. This guy was like the biggest fucking douchebag, I'm not gonna lie. Oz was really, he tried to get it in too much. And if anybody had seen my review on School Days, they know what they're in for. Guy lies behind a girl's back, goes behind another girl's back, tries to get it in with both of them, and Lord and behold, there are some problems, which almost gets our buddy Oz castrated. So, well, yeah, that's really something that was really not really a surprise to me at all. I mean, he had his assistant that he treated like shit, like every asshole does. Then he had the girl that he loved, who happened to, I'm more likely to believe that's I'm pretty sure that's Dorothy's mother, and they referenced the father because obviously their last name was Gale, but Kansas has a bunch of Gales. You don't know, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Dorothy wasn't born yet, so the wizard's just like, oh, go marry this guy and have a child with him, pretty much. And I'm pretty sure that's what she ended up doing because the wizard never came back. But like I was saying, he almost gets castrated, and then, well, I mean, even like I was saying, the wizard is such an asshole. Like, it's not even funny. I was sitting here having a conversation with someone, and while I was watching this movie, and we're just like, we're sitting there, not even 5 minutes into the movie, and you realize you see, when you see Oz, you're sitting there, you're like, man, this guy's such an asshole, and I would be sitting there and I'd be like, dude, it's only 5 minutes into the movie. You can't just judge the guy. And he's just like, yes, I can. Well, I'm just like, how can you? It's like, because the guy's a big asshole. And Lord and behold, throughout the whole movie, that guy's the biggest asshole I've ever seen. He makes Eric Bischoff from WWE and WCW look like a fucking, makes him look like he's actually a good guy. I mean, seriously, fucking... So Oz ends up, jumping into a hot air balloon and, almost getting killed by a tornado, and he pretty much, screams to God. He's just like, I'll change. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Because throughout that whole movie, that guy was just as big of an asshole at the beginning of the movie as he was at the end of the movie. Or he was just as big of an asshole at the end of the movie as he was at the beginning of the movie. Now, you're telling me that this guy is Oz, a big asshole. Now, what even gets me, more astonished is he ends up getting saved, and he ends up, he does crash and everything, but the only thing, like, this whole movie so far, the first 20 minutes is black and white. That's all you see, the black and white. I'm not gonna lie, the visuals for that were amazing. It actually looked like they were actually using a classic camera. But after that ends and you get into Oz, the shit goes downhill really fast. It looks like fucking Narnia. Literally, like the quality, just the camera work, the CG, it all looks like it's Narnia, and it looks less like the Land of Oz. I'm not gonna fucking lie. So you get there, he gets, he can't swim. That they already mentioned that. And then you run into Mila Kunis's character, which is the Witch of the East. I get the two witches confused sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I don't study it a lot, but I've seen all the movies, and within the last week, when I went to watch this one, and I'm pretty sure the Witch of the East is or it's either the Witch of the East or the Witch of the West, the Green Witch. The one that was the main character or the main villain in the last, the actual original Wizard of Oz. You get my point, though. So they meet her. They immediately fall in love. They get tracked down by one of those flying monkeys, not the good one, the evil ones that she had in the first place. And Lord and behold, he gets a pigeon killed. Literally, he kills a fucking pigeon. What a little asshole. Now he goes to the Emerald City. First he meets his little butt buddy, the little the monkey, and within like not even 5 minutes of him being on the screen, does he literally tell them that he's not a wizard, he's a con man. Because the witch believes that, since his name's Oz, he's a savior of the land, because the prophecy foretells a man who falls from the sky who has the same name as their land. That's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. I understand they needed to make some bullshit up to make Return to Oz actually look like it actually was canon. This movie is not canon to me. Where in your right mind would you think that this movie was canon? I mean, don't get me wrong. The first movie made it, the original Wizard of Oz, and hell, even the sequel, kind of made it seem like it was all in Dorothy's fucking head. That was probably my favorite fucking thing about the visuals, the fact that you kind of felt that it was in her head. It wasn't real. And then this guy, this guy's story comes along, and you're like, wow, this guy actually had a life. I mean, you get what I mean. Nobody ever found the fucker, but I mean, you're getting what I mean. He aged somehow beyond like 60 years, even though I'm pretty sure it was only 10 throughout the 10 or 20 years throughout the next story. But nonetheless, they go to the Emerald City, and Lord and behold, you see the witch that gets crushed by a fucking house. Yeah. But let alone, they do really good jobs at keeping it it makes you wonder, is my point. But anyways, he tries to get it in with both of them. And he even makes up the bullshit story from the beginning where he has a music box that was his mother's. and he's giving it to the girl. He gives a box to every single person. That's what got him in shit in the first place, and now he's gonna do it again. That does bite him in the ass, folks. It does. Very much so. Now, now, they send him on a journey to kill the Wicked Witch. Which happens to be the Good Witch. I think it was Glenda, the Good Witch, or Glenda, I can't remember. All I remember is, it's the Good Witch. You know, the one who's just like, you know, tap your feet 3 times for the, you get what I mean. But I'm gonna save the ruby slippers for last, okay? So they go all the way to the yellow brick road. Lord and behold, they see that something's on fire, which they go to the town and this town, and they find the little China girl. Which all I do is call her Little China Girl throughout the whole movie, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a problem with it. Considering names lack detail, like Scarecrow, Cowardly Lion, and Tin Man, and TikTok, and Jack. But back to my point, her family was completely killed. She broke her legs, and the only thing to establish Oz's character was to fix her with glue. And let me just tell you, the glue that he was using, suddenly it actually it hardened within a certain amount of time, and it fixed up the legs, which overall shouldn't be what, you know, it shouldn't take that long, or it really took too long, or not long enough. My point. It really worked too quickly is my point. But my whole point is they make this guy look like a bigger asshole because of his existence, everybody died pretty much. All these little China people died. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you how much of an asshole Oz was. Let's just say in order to kill in order to break the witch's wand or whatever the hell he had to do, he was originally gonna, apparently, later on he remembers, he finds this treasury, okay? Which is my biggest problem. He finds a treasury, and he tries to rob the fucking place, pretty much. There's no friendship speeches, there's no musicals, really, except for one from the Munchkins. But it's all egotistical, and it's all about money. That's all this guy's about. He doesn't give a fuck about Oz. All he wants to do is get the fuck out of there and get his gold. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of money, but it's like Scrooge all over again. Except, yeah, this is exactly like Scrooge. How is this Oz? It's like the Wizard of Oz if you fucking put Scrooge as the main character. That's pretty much what it is. It's Scrooge, but they replaced his name with Oz. That's all it is. But nonetheless, he meets the Good Witch, and then pretty much the other girl, Mila Kunis's character, the Green Witch, thinks that he's cheating on her. Therefore, she decides that she doesn't want to live, with a loving heart anymore. Therefore, she turns evil, and she tries to kill him. And then he decides he's gonna have an army. They decide to have an army, but instead of in order to take back Oz, they decide to trick everybody. Yeah. That's pretty much the end of the movie. He decides he's gonna trick everybody into thinking he's actually powerful. And they actually made it seem like he was a greedy asshole, which he still was. But in the end, you know none of the witches were going to die in the beginning. You knew that. In the end, it was just 2 hours of bullshit. Oz doesn't go home. He becomes a great Oz. The witches are banished from Emerald City. To be honest, doesn't even look like Emerald City. That movie was a waste of fucking time. I do not consider this movie canon. Again, this movie sucked worse than Return to Oz. How could everybody like this movie so much? This movie had a 7.10. The Return to Oz only had like a 6. How did everybody like this movie more than Oz, or more than Return to Oz? I don't understand. I wanted to like this movie, but the only thing that kept it up was Mila Kunis' acting. And that black guy who kept hitting everybody. That's fucking sad. Now, if I had the you know, my favorite still at the end of the movie, my favorite still was at the end of the movie when it said the end. Because then that means that I'm just like, is it over yet? I mean, this whole movie, you knew everything was fucking CG. It was all green screen. You're just walking. They're walking they're walking on the yellow brick road, and you see the cows. Those fucking look CG. You see the grass. That fucking looks CG. You see everything else. Fucking CG, man. That movie was so fucking horrible. I cannot scream enough to tell you how much this movie blowed. Do not waste your money to see this movie. God. I mean, my favorite parts that were actually in the movie, I don't even consider that the same movie. Let alone, here's my favorite, you know, the black and white was probably the best part. Next to the end. Back to my point, though. I'm going to try to wrap this up. This movie was so shitty that I could look at paint dry, okay? And that would be more entertaining to me. It would have more appeal. The only people who will like this movie are fucking 3D horse and HD horse and CG horse. Those are the only types of fucking people who like this movie. Because there is not enough character development here to get you people through the movie. No character development. Like, seriously, this movie was longer than the original and it had less character development and less story progression. They took literally, like, the only things that, like, 2 things that actually you could actually bestow upon the wizard in the original movie. And they pretty much expanded on it so horribly that throughout the movie you're sitting here waiting for the, let me just put it this way. I could be doing 10 more important things. Maybe 1 million more important things, actually, and watch this movie again. I will not be picking this movie up, probably. And if so, it's only so I can smash it. Now, if you really want, you can go watch this movie. But please, save yourself the trouble and, if you're gonna... If you're gonna watch this movie, make sure you're ready to end your life, because that's pretty much how much I wish I had ended my life after watching this. This movie is so upsetting. If you're a fan of the original Oz movies, I really don't think you're gonna enjoy this. But if this is one of those movies that are pretty much just like, it proves that, technology does not make the movie better. This is Blood and Deception, and I rate this movie a 1 creamy out of 5. Sam Raimi, you can blow yourself, and take your Spider-Man music and shove it up your ass instead of putting it in our Oz movies. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. Oh yeah, P.S. No ruby slippers throughout this whole movie. So yeah, thank you for watching, and, yeah, subscribe, rate, comment. Let me know if you actually did watch this movie, what you thought. Thank you, and have a good day. And, fuck you, Sam Raimi!